So I don't do fantasy basketball, but even I know that Kendrick Nunn is the kind of guy who wins you your league because he was either drafted really late or he wasn't drafted at all, and somebody scooped him up because this dude has been insane for Miami is the only way to put it. I mean, he's averaging 21 a game right now and some damn good efficiency, going off the dribble, making contested threes and all that. And there was a thing about this in G League. Someone just said this on a broadcast. I'm stealing it, but the Warriors almost had him, and then Miami claimed him on like the last day or something, and they nailed it. No doubt about it. I mean, he may not be the biggest guy in the world. He's what, 6'2", 6'3"? Google tells me one thing, Basketball Reference tells me another thing. But he's so damn crafty with the ball. I mean, I'm not going to act like I've watched every minute of every Heat game. I've seen what I can, but there's a lot of basketball on, of course. But he's so damn good at keeping his dribble alive, you know? I haven't seen him pick it up that much. I've seen him just get a screen and defender comes over and he just keeps the dribble alive, and because of his frame, he's able to just kind of sneak into the defense like that. It kind of reminds me of Isaiah Thomas in that way. And I also think Nunn's athleticism is kind of really good. I mean, because he's like 6'2", 6'3", it doesn't show itself in the way of someone a few inches taller than him. But I mean, whenever you see him in transition or finishing with a dunk, like, he goes up with it pretty damn comfortably. So I think we see that with his like off the dribble game as well. He'll just have these random bursts to the basket and all that. And, you know, it kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, like Nick Van Exel almost, with just the way he kind of finds space and then uses a pull-up jumper or a floater or something, you know? And that is an interesting question, the idea of like when Nunn settles down a little bit, unless he really is a 21-point scorer. But assuming he settles down to like 17 a game, like what is his exact role and play style and all that going to be? We don't know. But I also want to get to the shooting a little bit before that. The three looks pretty damn legit. And he's busting out pull-ups. He's hit quite a few contested threes. He seems pretty damn okay with just hoisting it up and not taking the defender into account that much. He's also had a few times where if the defender doesn't step up on the screen, he goes right into a three-pointer. I mean, 6 a game so far and 44%. That's pretty damn awesome. And if I can keep on doing like players he reminds me of, his form and the way he goes up with it, and also the fact that he's left-handed, kind of reminds me of like Michael Ridd a little bit. Something about the whole thing, I don't know. So that's a fallback, right? Is like, even if Nunn's creativity doesn't carry through, because maybe defenses load up on him a little bit more or whatever, the shooting's going to be there. And he's going to be a floor spacer, no doubt about it. And I feel like, and this is not going to happen. Clearly, the dude can do stuff off the dribble, but if for whatever reason that side of his game was like really compromised, I feel like he could still be a Wayne Ellington, where he takes like 9 threes a game just off of off-ball movement, and he'll take them contested and not really care. So this dude's going to be an offensive option no matter what. It's just kind of a matter of where does he end up, I guess. And the fact that he's in Miami's offense means they're always going to find ways to use him the right way, right? So, yeah, again, I don't know exactly where it is, whether it's 17-point scorer, 25-point scorer, or something in between, but Kendrick Nunn is clearly here. And does this push Dion Waiters completely out of the rotation? I mean, I feel like that already happened a little bit with Hero and Jimmy, and now we got Kendrick Nunn as well, and then there was that rumor about how Miami has been trying to trade Dion for however long. So, yeah, Waiters Island may look even smaller moving forward. But anyway, we talk about Dion Waiters, but we should talk about the other dudes I mentioned, Jimmy Butler, Hero, and that type of thing. I mean, with Jimmy back now, I think the starting lineup is, Justice, Bam, Jimmy, Kendrick, and then they've been starting Myers Leonard, so I'm guessing it would be him. I think Olynyk is better than Leonard. Leonard has been better through 4 games, no doubt, but I don't know. I think Olynyk's a better ball handler, a better shooter. little more competent on defense. But, whatever. That's what Spo's gone with so far. Spo knows way more about basketball than I do, and up to this point, Leonard has been better. So we'll take that for what it's worth. Dragic has been amazing off the bench and is probably the 6th man of the year so far. I haven't looked at any other candidates, so I'm sure Lou Williams' numbers compare pretty well, and other dudes who I just can't think of right now. But that'll be interesting to see. Like, is Dragic just totally okay with that? Granted, his minutes are basically neck and neck with the starters. He's played about 30 minutes a game, but, Jimmy also didn't play for 3 of those, so that'll be an interesting thing as it goes along, but I do want to focus on Kendrick Nunn a little bit more here. So, with Jimmy being the leading shot taker, we assume, and with Justice handling the ball and Bam doing the same thing and Dragic as well, it will be interesting to see just how much ball handling we see from Kendrick moving forward. I mean, again, I do think even if he's more of a floor spacer, he can still be really good, but we would hope that he can still, really show off his scoring skills. Because if he really is this good of a scorer, then that means somebody else is going to have to compromise a little bit, regardless of who it is, whether it's Hero or it would probably be Hero. I mean, if someone's going to shoot less, it's probably going to be the rookie, but that'll still be it'll be cool to see how Spo makes that all work. I mean, I trust Spo to do it. I remember a couple years ago when they had 9 million wings, and that was the reason they had a late season surge. It wasn't the getting all the way back to 500 thing, but it was the year before it or after it. I don't remember exactly. It was Joe Johnson, Luol Deng, D Wade, that team. So Spo has worked well with all wings before, and those set of wings were not as good of shooters as these set of wings. So that's interesting to me. Whether, maybe there'll be some staggering of minutes, just allowing Kendrick to really create a little bit. I don't know. It'll be cool stuff, but this Miami team suddenly has a lot of dudes who can go off the dribble, and they have more shooting than some of us, including me, even if I was high on them, would have expected going into this season. So, yeah, of course, this video is mainly about Kendrick, so we'll go back to him one more time. I don't know exactly what his ceiling is. I mean, dude basically came out of nowhere, but safe to say he's going to be an offensive option. I mean, I guess if you wanted to be cynical, you could look at this as another Yogi Ferrell situation where Yogi came onto the scene for... Who was it? Was it Dallas when he was really good out of nowhere? And then he settled down, and since then he's just been, kind of forgettable, to be honest. But when you go and you look at the actual games in which Yogi was come out of nowhere, I don't really think they compare to Kendrick's. So yeah, dude's good, no doubt about it. And he's going to be cheap as hell for a while. So Miami really nailed it with taking him on, and whatever we thought of as Miami's trajectory over the next couple of years, with how good Kendrick and Hero look, maybe we got to adjust that a little bit.